Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 101 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, we got somebody that is born from royalty, somebody that is a legend in the making, somebody that I got a high level of respect for, man. We got the homie O'Shea Jackson Jr. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm over in Ireland right now. I'm filming this movie, Cocaine Bear, which is about a bear that fucking over in Kentucky. Yeah, I know it's based in Kentucky, but I'm shooting it in Ireland.
Right.
But these dudes trying to get this shipment in. The shipment drops out the sky because of some shit I can't,
Right.
on, but a bear gets a hold of 88 pounds of cocaine, and the bear goes on a killing spree. It's based on a true story, so you can look it up. It's some wild stuff going down, and they decided to make a film out of it, and they got me in it. So
that is some trippy shit. Like, what's funny is like that premise alone, it sells me because it's like, okay, so I'm immediately thinking of like Warzone, like a loot crate drop.
Yeah.
Right.
My first thought, I was like, I was reading about it because Elizabeth Banks. I'm a big fan of Elizabeth Banks, and I saw it on Twitter first. It was like Elizabeth Banks gets right to Cocaine Bear, and I was like, "The fuck is Cocaine Bear?" And so I looked it up. And I was like, "Yo, this shit is nuts!" And then, lo and behold, she hit me up, and so I'm here, doing my thing, and it's just like, all right, what's worse than a bear chasing you down? Let's put that nigga on cocaine. It's just like, that is ridiculous to me. So I love doing a fun movie like this. So, I'm getting down.
Well, that's what's been dope about your journey, man. Obviously, Ice Cube's son, come from that royal lineage and everything. So it's like, okay, you got this arguably top 5 rapper, what I'm saying? That's, that's there. So it's like, okay, so his son most likely is going to go into that same path. And, you said that you dabbled in it, but you produce now and everything like that. But I know that even with acting, Ice Cube set his feet in acting. I do love the roles that you have been taking because, you said in the interview before, like, once you are a rapper, they kind of typecast you. So he's like, the approach that you took is like, you wanted to make sure that you was able to get those different type of roles, not be typecast and everything. And, that's what we've been seeing, the roles that you select. Like the way I see it is that based off of who you are and what you already portrayed not portrayed, what you already put out in the world as far as your personality and your morals, you are picking and choosing like your roles carefully so that way you can showcase that diversity.
Yeah, it's all about design. I knew after Straight Outta Compton, I was going to USC for screenwriting. That's really where, that's where I was going to go. I wanted to be in the film industry, but I didn't necessarily want it to be, the face of nothing. I kind of, I enjoy my privacy. If you look on my Instagram, I don't really ever post me. I post anime or, cartoons or like movies or, right now, there was a couple months. I take like months apart from Instagram. There was one month where I was just dropping, every day I dropped 3 performers that, I appreciate their work and I just want to, say something about it, I'm not tagging them, except for Aubrey, but like, just giving it up, it doesn't happen a lot nowadays, and you just got to give it up to somebody. And so I was on that shit for a while, and then now I'm on this nostalgia thing. You look on my Instagram, I just hitting people with nostalgia because it's like, social media, you're talking about yourself all the damn time, like And you can only kiss your own ass for so long. And so like nostalgia posts right now, they make me feel good to look through the comments. And when I see somebody say, damn, you unlocked something for me, like I know wherever that person is in the world, you felt good, but they felt good about themselves right then and there. And so that's what I'm on right now. But like I knew from the jump with Straight Outta Compton, just to get back on, is I already have to make my own identity. I was going to school for being a screenwriter. My dad, in the middle of my second year, is like, yo, they're taking this NWA movie serious. And I was like, that's dope. And he was like, no, it's not just that. I need you. I would really like you to play me, but you got to win the part. And I'm like, all right. And he was like, okay. So from there, they got me my trainer. They got me my acting coach, Aaron Spicer, my sensei. And auditioned for that for 2 years. And I knew like, okay, I'm on this path now. I look just like him. I got the exact same name as him. And I'm playing him in my first movie. I am digging myself a fucking pit that is going to take a minute to get out of. So whatever we do has to be the polar opposite of Straight Outta Compton. Mm-hmm. And when the film came out, it was such a huge success. It even got, it was nominated for an Oscar. It should have got nominated for more, but it was a critically acclaimed film. And so I'm like, all right, the phone about to be popping. I didn't get nothing for a year. And like, they don't pay you a lot your first movie. I don't give a fuck about, my dad is the producer, right. So I'm watching this bank account, get a little thick, and it sucks. It sucks. So, after that, it was like, yo, we got to find something. And then I just happened to meet one of the dopest people I've ever met in my life, Aubrey Plaza. Yep. Now, all right, quick little funny story about how I got this part. All right, so this is my side. Aubrey got her side. She said, but this is what the fuck happened. All right, so I'm presenting at this award show. Some random award show. It's not even televised. It's just like they put you on this Oscar tour where you go to these hoity-toity parties. And I'm in the green room and I see Aubrey Plaza. I'm a big fan, I'm feeling myself because I got a popping movie. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to go see what's up. So I go over there and these three old ass ladies stop me. They stop me and they're like, yo, my grandson loves the film that you're in. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, what you want a picture? Like, come on. And so finally I take a picture with the ladies and I look up, bam, Aubrey Plaza's gone. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, that's whack. So like everybody knows, when I get upset, I go on Twitter. So I went on Twitter and I was like, definitely missed my opportunity to meet Aubrey Plaza, da 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 da. So I guess it's a good night. Just being sarcastic. Right. He hits me in the DM. She's like, look, I got this movie. I need you to be my love interest. Just do it. And I'm like, okay. I don't know if I should just do, I need a movie. I don't know if I should do just jump like that. I was like, can we set up a meeting? She was like, all right, cool. So she slid me the number. And so I text her and I say, hey, it's Batman. And she put great exclamation point. I'm like, all right, she liked that. Then after that, we have a meeting at some restaurant and she goes, how'd you like the script? I'm like, you didn't send me the script. I'm like, yeah, I did. I was like, all right, what's my email? Well, then why did you say you were Batman? I'm Batman. I don't know why I said that to you. She was like, your dude in the movie is obsessed with Batman. And I already told the directors and the producers that you said, yeah.
Oh, so hey, I'm Batman. She thought it was the confirmation.
And I'm like, damn, okay. I mean, that's some universe shit right there. I gotta do it. I gotta
Right.
do it. And that's Ingrid Goes West. That's my
Yeah.
second film. And that took me to Sundance. Variety had me top 10 performances in Sundance. And that kind of, that was a complete opposite of what I did in Straight Outta Compton. And that film has such a close spot in my heart because I really feel like that put more eyes on me of like, oh no, it wasn't just him copying his dad. Like, no, this dude, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I thought was really dope about it is because as I started learning more about you and the things that you are into, I was like, yo, this character, like this is Shay. Like Shay loves Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like he loves anime, comic book stuff like that. So I'm like, yo, this is really.
And he was a screenwriter. He was a screenwriter. I was like, yo, not acting at all.
Like this is super dope. But like I said, that was one of the things that I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely serious because it was such a flip. Because obviously in hip hop, there's so many hip hop producers. I mean, obviously you did eventually end up working with 50 Cent, but it was like there's 50 that's out here putting out stuff. You got all these rappers. Cube also putting out stuff. Snoop put out stuff. Like you got all these major hip hop figures who's putting stuff out that. The easy jump would have been Straight Outta Compton. All right, let me do this 50 Cent movie. All right, what other black hip hop director? So doing that to me, and then again, like with it, the success that it was being in Sundance, like I look at Sundance as like, all right, these are these really dope indie projects that are like, it's really written well, themes and stuff like that. It's not just, a quick grab. So it's like when I saw that having success at Sundance, I'm like, oh, okay, so he's part of a film. You know what I'm saying? It's and so that's why I was like, yeah, that your journey has been amazing because it is that. It's like you got I'm gonna put you in the same boat as like John David Washington when it's like your pops is so huge that, you know what I'm saying, with him, kind of similar to you, like he sounds like Denzel, you know what I'm saying? He don't necessarily look too much like him, but he like, same type of roles stereotypically that he can play that his dad would play. So when you see him and stuff like that, he did the same thing. He said, I'm taking so many roles. He went by John David. I mean, he didn't go by John Washington. He went by John David for the longest before people, I think, Ballers was the one that people.
Ballers really kicked it off.
Yeah, but the same thing. He was like, I want to create my own path. I don't want people only just working with me because of my pops, and I don't want to be compared to my pops. I'm doing my own thing, and I think that that's always dope because, a kid of somebody that big, like people always think like you guys got it easy, but that is an aspect that a lot of people don't think about. Like, yo, my pops do greatness, or my mom do greatness. Is like. If I don't do anything great, then the people automatically like, damn, you ain't doing that. So it's like you got to build your own legacy, and I think that's why I've been really interested in like the moves that you've been making and everything like that, man.
Yeah, it's a new every set that I go on, I try to make it different from the last. Like after Ingrid Goes West, I went straight into my first action film, which was Den of Thieves, and boy, I was not ready to do no damn action movie. I was like, yo, I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm exhausted. And like, I'm just getting my ass kicked the whole movie, furious. And spoiler alert, but like in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, y'all ain't died yet? Like, come on, man. Like, can we get this moving? And then after that, I was like, all right, let me go back home. Let me recharge. But then Godzilla called.
Yeah.
I really do love Godzilla. So, how could I say no? And then after that, I, back-to-back action films, I was like, all right, let me hone it back in. And then I wanted to get back into biopics. And I did Just Mercy. And Just Mercy, that I took that very serious. I took it like me playing Anthony Ray Hinton. I watched his story, over and over and over again, just trying to analyze that guy because this is the first time, playing a real person that I haven't watched for 20 years. So it was that was something that I really wanted to shine in because I know I only had a little bit of time, but one thing that I've always wanted to take in is that if I'm not the lead, if you're not the lead, if you are supporting actor, you gotta steal the show. Every time that you are on screen, you gotta be the one that everybody is looking at.
Yeah.
Like the main guy is gonna be the main guy. But when it's your time to shine, I knew that I gotta kill it. And an analogy was two analogies that I use is like, yeah, Woody might be the main character of Toy Story, but Buzz Lightyear is the coolest fucking toy in the movie.
Right.
All right. And like Luke Skywalker might be the dude and got the lightsaber and he's the Jedi, but you want to be Han Solo. Like Han Solo, you know, you get the princess, he got the whip, like you got Chewie. So like be Han Solo, be Buzz Lightyear.
Right.
And I took that into I took that to heart with anything. If I'm not the main guy, you know, you got to put up your dukes a little bit if I'm gonna be on camera with you.
Yeah. And I know, like I said, you know, kind of in that realm, just talking about just, you know, saying some geek fandom. I know that it had to be exciting when you got that Star Wars call.
Woo! Oh, I was talking so much shit to it.
I was like, I remember when it came out, because again, like when I first, you know, perception of you was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, Ice Cube, son, you know, Ice Cube got this stoic, you know what I'm saying, how he is. And so it's like, okay, you thinking that, right? So then as I started following you on social media and start seeing your nostalgia posts and seeing the things that you talk about, I'm like, oh shit, Shay's part of the Blerd community. This is really dope. So then when it came out, because I seen you like throw your online hat in a couple of rings before, like, hey, you know what? If y'all do this, just know I'm interested. Right. So when I saw that headline that you know, said O'Shea Jackson Jr. joined Star Wars, and then especially with what they've been doing with Star Wars now, I said, yes, I'm here for it. Like, let's go.
Yeah, man. That was I was when I, you know, you're under NDA, you know, you can't say nothing and all that. But like, man, I was so happy. It was such a dream come true, and I couldn't tell nobody. I couldn't tell no one. I was like, yo, Mickey got my phone bugged for sure. You know, I was looking out the window for Disney cars. But like, it was like that. I can't wait for everybody to see that. I can't wait to just ramble about it. You know,
oh yeah, I already know.
Once my shackles is off. But yeah, that is when I knew. I was like, okay, we might be making some noise. We might be on the right track. And you know, like you said, as a geek, as a nerd, it's the cream of the crop.
Yeah, and what's dope about that is just like the one thing that I love about Star Wars now, because my biggest knock to Star Wars back then always, I was like, man, you are in space, expand the universe. There's so much stuff that we can talk about. So then when we got like Clone Wars, I'm like, okay, this is amazing. Then we got, you know what I'm saying, now, like I said, with Mandalorian, I'm like, oh man, this is really dope. So now we going back with the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm just like, yo, okay, they're expanding this universe. But what's also great about it is that no matter what your character is, I mean, I like to say, I know I'm not going to get you to talk about it right now, but yeah, like your character now is stamped in that lore. Years down the road, when they do the Star Wars encyclopedia, your character is going to have to be in that book. And that right there is like, yo, this is really dope and shit. Yeah. And
that's how I felt about Godzilla.
Godzilla,
like, I'm like, bro, over 30 at the time, it was like 33 movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, when it's all said and done, and when I look back at that list, I'll be able to look at King of the Monsters like, yo, we did that. We in there. And yeah, when you get any type of project that taps into your younger self, like, you know, if 10-year-old Shay could see me now and be like, yo, we're killing it out here.
Right. So I did want to kind of go back into the past a little bit and talk about some. So when, you know, I always bring up like coming from where we come from, a lot of our escapes is always sports, video games, comic books, animes, cartoons, and everything. So what got you into anime? Because I know that when I saw that you was that heavy into it, I said, yo, this is an aspect of Shay that I did not know. Like, I wouldn't have expected. So how did you actually get into anime?
I would say My pops kind of put me onto Japanese culture. My pops, going to Blockbuster back when Blockbuster was a thing, and bring it home. He was like, "Yo, you got to watch this," and it was Johnny Sacco and his giant robot.
Okay.
And so that was, I was looking at that on top of him introducing me to Godzilla, and it was like, if you like Godzilla, you're gonna like this. And so, I'm already into it. And then from there, it was me watching the Sci-Fi Channel, waiting for Godzilla. And so I'm like slowly getting engulfed into the Japanese culture, and then Toonami changed my life. And little did I even know little did I know that this is an animated block for Cartoon Network to get away from the wackiness. I didn't know what Toonami was as a kid. I just, I'm watching it, and then I'm starting to get into Yu Yu Hakusho, and now I'm watching Tenchi Muyo, and now Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Z, that my whole trajectory in life changed. It was like, I have to every Wednesday be here to watch this. Don't nobody talk to me. My shit is on. And at that time, before Dragon Ball Z come on at 5:30, Batman the Animated Series comes on, and that is one of the greatest cartoons ever. And at that time, I'm like, man, can you hurry up so I can get to Dragon Ball Z? That taught me how to count 30 minutes. Right. Because I know you could be off so I could get to Dragon Ball Z. And, that really is just such a monument in my life is Goku. Goku, if you're just watching anime, just you hear it and you're not listening, you can miss anime gives you life lessons throughout that whole thing. There's not one anime that I know of that doesn't teach you to never give up. That is the gold rule. And Goku taught me no matter how bad it is, no matter how whack things are or it looks, to keep laughing, keep that smile on. You can say it sucks, but you got to get out there and you got to do it. If not me, then who will? That is I think about Goku versus Frieza, bro. If it ain't gonna be me, who gonna do it? Right. And that sucks to say because if you watch Dragon Ball, Yamcha was dope. Tien had some shine. Yeah. When you put that Z at the end, y'all are the most bench playing supporting cast. Y'all do nothing. And if not Goku, then who? And that's something that I kind of just I took on. I use that for motivation to this day. You just got to go get it done because that's what Goku would do. And then after that, I really kind of started looking into the serious side, like Bebop. Bebop is not, it's got its funny moments, but it's it's some deep storytelling in Bebop. Also, I was a fan of what is it called? Trigun. Trigun was another one that I was really into, and that was really more towards Bebop, and Trigun was more towards when Adult Swim came around, and every Saturday they're showing anime. And another one, a show that I actually really want to bring back and maybe turn into a live action film is the show Guyver. Now, Guyver is that's a deep cut, and it is some brutal anime on Guyver. But that was my beginning.
Okay, cool. And a couple of things that you said. First things first, that to kind of go over some of the stuff that you said. One, I think you dropped the bombshell. I don't think that many people know that Cube was into Japanese culture like that. That's not something that I don't think no. So the fact that your pops put you on, and it's this, what I like about it is because I've gotten my kids crazy about anime. My daughter is my anime buddy. Me and her, we watch so much, but my son loves anime, and even my youngest now, she's 3 and she's loving anime. But it's You know what I'm saying? As I felt like it was my duty. I'm like, all right, I got to put y'all onto this dopeness that is anime and everything. So like that. And then with Dragon Ball Z, bro, like when you think about like, okay, we've had a whole bunch of cartoons that we love, right? We love, Power Rangers and everything like that. We get geeked up about it. When Goku first turned Super Saiyan, that was legit like the let's go.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
Geeked as kids when Goku did that first transformation. And like I know the joke about it is like it took 18 episodes for that fight to happen. I didn't care. I loved it all. Like that saga, that Frieza saga. I mean, that was just one of the most amazing moments in anime history.
Yeah, it was just the whole as soon as they get to Namek, is really when they put the Z on Dragon Ball. Yeah. Like I know the Saiyan saga, introduces us to Vegeta, who, one of the greatest anime characters ever, the Saiyan Prince.
Great, one of the greatest story arcs of a character ever.
Yeah, man, because I did not like him.
Nobody.
I was like, yo, we gotta murk this dude. He is wilding. And now, like, Vegeta is easily one of my favorites. He get the short end of the stick a lot. Akira, he get the short end of the stick a lot. But that's just how it is.
In Resurrection F, Vegeta should have took the kill. Like they should have let him have the kill shot. That whole rewind that Whis had to do, and I was like, no, like let Vegeta have this kill shot. I was so pissed. But in Super, that moment that he had with Top. So I don't like Top is one of my I do not like Top. Like Top. But that moment when Top was like, I threw away everything. Vegeta legit was pissed at Top. Like, wait, what? Like, I got a family. I fight for family.
Dare you, bruh?
Like and when he had his new transformation, I was so geeked because I'm like, yeah, Vegeta like talk that shit, like what I'm saying, like that's like Vegeta, like I love Goku hands down. I love Goku. Vegeta is my favorite in it because of his story arc, his character arc. You know what I'm saying, and how much that he loves. But then, and then also when you talk about lessons, so there's always the great debate about Naruto, which I know that you're binging now, and Dragon Ball Z, right? So I tell people all the time, Dragon Ball Z, there will never be an anime that tops it for me. For me personally, my connection to it, Dragon Ball Z is my top. And I understand, you know what I'm saying, like it doesn't have the best storyline ever, but it's still so dope. However, Naruto, that storyline, like I've seen people cry off of this anime. Like it is. That one, they really give you some life lessons about just, acceptance, about never give up, about, like I said, that family, that brotherhood and everything, like everything. Like, what I'm saying? So I don't know how far are you right now in the series?
Oh, I'm done. I finished it. I had a tweet about it, but, I'll go into more in depth. Dragon Ball Z, like you said, just Dragon Ball Saga series, just as a whole, that's always going to be the top for me because it's what really got me hooked. Yeah. And it's like respect to all anime characters out there, respect to everybody's favorites, but I know if I had to choose whose powers I'd want to use, I know if I was in any type of anime situation and I see that orange and that blue pop up, I know I'm safe. We gonna be all right. Like, don't even trip. Goku got us. Yeah. And what I'll say, this is, because I've seen Naruto and it popped up easily number 2. Easily number 2 in my book. But Naruto is more of a chess match. They're constantly during their battles, they're trying to be steps ahead of each other, and just really the sneakiness of a ninja is really put into Naruto very well. And so it is like them playing chess with one another, going back and forth. Dragon Ball Z is more of a gunfight. Dragon Ball Z is more of a, yo, you see this gun? We need, come on, man, give me some ammo. and going back and forth with it. And so, you know, it is different types of energy, but I will give Naruto their storytelling is God tier. It is second to none. You do feel attached to these characters. And I went the long route. I didn't just start with Shippuden. I watched the original Naruto and then I went into it. And those flashbacks, you know, especially with me binging, so everything is still fresh in my head, but those flashbacks make you realize that you've been on a journey too, watching this happen, you know, watching all these things unfold. And, you know, once again, spoiler, if you don't want to know, like, I'm sorry, bro, they ruined it for me sometimes too. But when Jiraiya passed, I'm sitting here like on set and shit, thinking about all the times we had. I'm really there, you know. Like I'm just thinking about all the times he made me laugh, and like that character gone, just gone. I remember when I thought Kakashi was about to die. You know, I'm like, no, they're not about to do this
because you like y'all just took Jiraiya. Now you're about to like, fam, don't do this.
We'll do this. And like that Pain fight, I was like, all right, this got to be it. And then it get even worse after Pain. Yeah. And it was a point where I was like, yo, Naruto is on some Game of Thrones shit. Like I can't be attached to nobody. Like, you know, it's get my heart broke. I thought Tsunade was gonna go at a couple of times, but yeah, it is a beautiful anime. Like it is unreal. And I'm sorry, I'm probably about to get a lot of hate mail. Sakura had a single moment.
She did.
That was it.
Yeah, she did. So here's what I often try to defend Sakura, and I say second half Sakura was way better than the first half.
Second half Sakura was popping. You know, she's in the trenches like, yo, get up. You know, but because we went so long, like, fam, Sakura stopped chasing him. Like he like stopped, and so it was like that. The Pain saga, I said, out of all animes, Pain was one of the first animes that I was legit stressed. Like he stressed me out. The Pain was just such a stressful villain. It's just like, bruh, like, I was walking around talking so reckless to people because I had Pain in my mind, and just like his voice and just like the way that that stoic look. You know, when you're watching anime and you see, you know, you see the main character and, you know, the antagonist in a fight, you're looking for the antagonist to have like a stressed look on his face during the fight. Like you're looking for his eyes to get wide or him to be confused about something, or like you looking for that look of like, okay, he's worried. Like nothing. It was nothing. He had the piercings, like he was straight out of Spencer's Goods. You know, Hot Topic on all that. But like that dude was a menace. And then the way that Naruto gets through to him, Pain is one of my favorite characters ever. Shout out to Nagato.
Now that's one thing too also about Goku and Naruto. They have an uncanny ability to turn a villain into an ally. Because even if you think about the current state of the Z fighters, the androids are allies. Piccolo's an ally. Frieza's damn near an ally. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He's sketch though. You like that's the homie you just text. Like, hey man, happy birthday. That's really it. I don't want to talk to you for long.
Right. And so and Naruto, like at the end, he turned everybody a friend. Like Gaara, when he first got introduced, he was like really kind of against Naruto and them, but then he was like, he related to him, got him. Like say he got through Pain. Like it's like they have this uncanny ability to say, hey man, come on, you roll with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even the way they did Broly in the Dragon Ball Super movie. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Broly, let me tell you something, man. Goku, I love him. I love Goku. Yeah. Goku's gonna find a way. But Goku ain't never been. He always has to find a way. Even the good guys are never all the way stronger than the villain. Like never. The villain gets cocky or the villain gets, just full of himself and ends up screwing himself over. That damn Broly, they can't use, like, if we get Broly on the side of good and like anything, it should be over.
Yeah.
It should be a wrap. It should be done. And when I saw that Super film, I was like, yo, they did this right. And I like how they took us back and at the same time rewrote some things, like, seeing Goku's mom, that was dope, Gine, and like, just really kind of making Dragon Ball theirs. Like we all know Z, but that's when Super was like, you know what, we're in charge of this now. This is how we're going to go. This is what's happening. And how they did Broly in that film. Broly is such a beast. If they couldn't have had him in the Tournament of Power, it would have been over.
Well,
Sorry,
see, the one thing that movie did for me too, and so like, you just finished Naruto. So with Naruto, the Hidden Leaf was an actual character, like the town. Like you got to feel for the town. In Dragon Ball, that city that they are in, like we knew the city was there, but we didn't really get a feel for the town. We just wanted to see our fighters, right? When they did the Broly movie, they made me want to see a setting in Planet Vegeta. I want to see the Saiyans just, every day. I'm interested in that now. And I thought that was dope because we didn't really have that in the Dragon Ball universe in quite some time. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really dope. And again, with Broly too, I think the first thing that when I realized it, I said, yo, because remember in the movie, when they show up, they're in Super Saiyan God mode and Broly's he's in base form. And I'm like, hanging with y'all in base form? I was like, dog, yeah, that was crazy, man. Like that, I love that movie a lot. And then the animation, they stepped that animation up so good on that one, like because they went with an animation house on that, and that was really, really dope.
Yeah, it's something that's like it was almost, I don't know how to say it, because if you introduce somebody to Dragon Ball Z, you don't want to just jump them into Super Broly, but at the same time, it was kind of like our crown jewel. It was kind of like, this is for us. This is what we bring to the table. And my homie Chris, who he runs the Toho Kingdom Twitter. He took me to the premiere of Super Broly. Shout out to my boy Chris. And yeah, it felt like this deserves to be in theaters. They're just the sound, the look, the crispness of it all, and the story was dope. They brought Broly back, and his reboot is, I like it better than the last one. He's just this monster, brain dead barbaric thing. It puts you in his shoes a little bit of like, he didn't, I was born the shit. I didn't mean to like get banished. And it just added layers to somebody who, was a one-track thing back in the day, but now it's somebody that I hope that they use in the future a lot.
Yeah, me too. Because like the same thing with what you said is what I said. I said, even though I love the OG Broly, the whole him being triggered by Goku crying, I thought that was like, So with this one, like I said, they gave it a little bit more sense. Like I said, it was kind of the environment that he was in, being banished out and having to do. So I thought that was really dope. Did you ever keep the photo that JD Witherspoon drew of Goku for you? I saw that you said that you remember him.
Yeah, I still got that. JD, that's my boy. He showed me my first Dragon Ball Z video game.
Nice.
I obviously our pops were connected, and it was like, we're all going to John Witherspoon's house for dinner. I was like, all right. And so I go over there. John got kids, what's up? And Dragon Ball Z is what connected me and JD. And he was like, come look at this. And this dude had Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for PlayStation 1. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm at the end of the Namek saga. Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza are the strongest in the universe to me.
Right.
He shows me this.
Right. You're like, wait, what?
He's like, yo, this is Vegeta's son. His name's Trunks. What? This is Gohan grew up. This is Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4. Yeah. Oh, and also this is when Goku and Vegeta mix by touching fingers, and this one is by the earring. And I'm like, my brain is oozing out my ears. I had no idea. It was like the ultimate spoiler. Everything that he was telling me. And yeah, like that dude let me know that like there's a world coming that I had no idea about. Everybody's Super Saiyan. How many fucking Super Saiyans are there? And that kind of kicked off my looking it up online and trying to figure out and realizing that we are worlds behind where Japan is when it comes, because this is theirs. Yeah. And he really got me into not caring about waiting for the English dub, wherever I could get it. I'm trying to download episodes off Kazaa and shit. Like that was my thing. And JD kind of really kicked that segment of my life off. That's my boy for life.
Yeah. And again, like I said, before we started the interview, how I was telling you is like a lot of people, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think more so now because the Blerd community is popping and ever so growing. But like a lot of people had this misconception of like black people didn't fuck with anime. It was like, we love anime a lot, man. We loved a lot of that stuff because, you think about it again with anime, most of the characters, main characters, they're either like shunned or oppressed, or like they're like, you ain't gonna be the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we kind of can connect with that because it's like, yo, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all treating Naruto, Xing him out, or so like whatever, like y'all.
Bro, if Frieza,
I think I already know where you about to go.
If Frieza is not a slave master.
I knew you was about to go there.
No, he's got a whole population of people enslaved, doing labor for nothing, calling them monkeys all day.
All day. And saying it, the way he say it, it's like a race.
Yeah. It's like, yo, black cord. Wait a minute, man. This is racist. Man, and first of all, that alone as a kid, I was like, all right, I feel connected. And then I swore Piccolo was black. You go to Planet Namek, they growing crops and shit. And like, oh, yeah, these are black people. And so you're always looking for it.
He had an angry black dad voice, like Piccolo.
Yeah, man. So like you're naturally looking for it, like. But you do feel that connection. It's always the oppressed overcoming just the worst conditions. And and it's the beauty of it is though they go through all these battles, they go through all these walls that should knock them down. They always do it if you do it with the purest heart, it always has the best outcome. Yeah. You don't want the quick way. The quick way is always what the villains are trying to get on. It's like food. You can throw it in the microwave, but it's really gonna be better if you put it in the oven. If you do that slow cook, and just it take the long and more difficult route. And so like you do naturally feel that connection. And I really thought we was about to get it with Oob. I thought Oob was
Oob's one of my favorite characters that are not being used. However, in Super, they did kind of like reference him, so I still have hope that they're gonna bring him in at some point. But man, I love Oob so much, and even I think it's more also now the myth of Oob, knowing that he's Boo reincarnated, knowing that he also was trained by Goku directly, knowing that like it's like, bruh, like give us Oob. Like there's so much that you can tell us about him right now.
They're probably going to beef him all the way up, and he still won't take out a main villain, man. Not before Vegeta. And then I think like I want Oob to be so dope, so bad, because the good Majin Buu is this motherfucker right here, like the homie with the diaper. Yeah. He's talking about like with this voice, like. Majin Buu pisses me off so much. I'm like, bro, you are just so annoying to look at. And then, of course, you're paired up with Hercule, who as a kid, I couldn't stand. Like, bro, you're the most annoying fighter, and you could probably kill half the squad.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like Hercule, he was like the first like anime capper. Like he was heavy capping about like his just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man. Hercule is a fucking liar. Paying people to get wins, like it's just treachery.
However, I do like how the Z fighters, they're like, all right, we need a voice. He our voice. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because like with Goku trying to get that spirit bomb, Vegeta like, nigga, what y'all doing? They're like, they looked at Vegeta like, nah, what you talking about? But
who are you?
As soon as they heard Hercule, they was like, oh, hey, that's Hercule. Let's help him. It was like,
I got you, dog.
Like, all right, I guess we need him just to amplify our voice. He's our ally. He's an ally and everything. So that's dope. So now that you finished Naruto, who's your favorite character?
My favorite character is probably Kakashi, bro. Kakashi is just how he's just reliable. I got you. I'm gonna get it done. Always had the calm demeanor, never got too out of it. And he even though he's looked at as Naruto's teacher, that boy got a legend. There's a legend of Kakashi in the background that's hinted in spots. They always like, oh, so you Kakashi. Because that man been doing dirt for years.
Right.
Like the copycat. Yeah, the copycat ninja. Don't let me put it down. You don't want to see both eyes. Yeah. Might as well just let me keep reading my book. And my second favorite is Guy Sensei, just because of how corny he is, man.
So my eyes is Rock Lee, man. I love Rock Lee, bro.
Yeah, Rock Lee. He's so pure. Rock Lee's so pure.
Yeah, I love Rock Lee, man.
But Guy has me laughing all the time because it's like, come on. You're so full of yourself. And that and the bowl cut. My man he's the man. He's the man. Got green spandex. Like you're just the corniest dude, but your confidence is through the roof.
And then once he start unlocking them gates, though, like,
yeah, I'll beat your ass.
So you'll catch these hands.
Yeah.
So another aspect of you, like huge gamer. You know what I'm saying? You talk about gaming a lot. You talk about a lot of the things that you that you were into. Sonic obviously being one of your favorite video games and everything. I always like to ask, what's the one game that nobody want to see you in? Oh,
that would be NBA 2K.
Okay.
Especially now because the Lakers is good again.
So
it's hard. It's hard giving people work with no disrespect, y'all my boys. I got your jerseys, but it's hard when it was Lonzo and Brandon Ingram, and I'm going up against the Warriors all the time because whoever on the sticks obviously just wanted to shoot with Steph. But yeah, I've been on 2K since Sega Dreamcast. There's this I don't know if it's on the documentary or it was just an MTV interview, but we was on the Up and Smoke tour. I'm in third grade on the Up and Smoke tour. Don't ask. But so we're on the Up and Smoke tour, and me and my dad are playing 2K on Sega Dreamcast. And yeah, I'm giving my dad work in the middle of him doing an interview. Like 2K has always been my thing. There was of course that little space where NBA Live was king, but after like 2006, when I started seeing, once again, no disrespect, but I can't be having, my man T-Mac was on the cover and the Rockets didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then Tony Parker is on the cover. And I don't know one homie with a Tony Parker jersey. No disrespect. Like, I'm like, eh. And it kind of started to do what Madden did for me for a while. I'm like, I'm paying $60 for the same thing that I was mad about last year. And it as a gamer, that is your worst nightmare. That is like I'm a sheep. I am a slave right now. I'm just, they know I'm gonna get it. And like Madden is king because there ain't nothing else.
Yeah.
What you gonna not play football? What you gonna not? You're like, come on. So they could give you whatever they want. But yeah, 2K has been my thing for a while. Me and my boys still play Grand Theft Auto online, still running around Los Santos because they're forcing us to do it. I want to get into Red Dead online, but I just don't have enough homies that play, and I'm just not trying to get robbed every hour. Like, you need a squad in some of those games.
You definitely do, because like I said, in Red Dead 2, what's also wild about Red Dead is that they can lasso you up and attach you to the back of the horse and drag you. So I remember the first time I got on, my guy, he did that to me. I said, bro, like, we supposed to be homies. Like, I gotta introduce you to the game. I gotta show.
Welcome to the West.
All right, so two things. One, big Laker fan, man. Kobe is my GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So like, we got that in there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he always been my GOAT. However, I am from Milwaukee, Bucks in 6. You know
Okay.
And Giannis right now is my dude because of the same reasons why I love Goku. I mean, Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But see, this I'm kind of indifferent right now with the Lakers right now because Kobe's my GOAT. I am a classified LeBron hater. I'm gonna say that right now. It's just on court. Off court, LeBron can't do any wrong in my eyes. I got him up there with all the top people that's pushing black culture. I love LeBron from that sense. But because of the hopping around, the way he did the decision and everything like that. So when he got to the Lakers, I said, oh, Jesus. I said, I can't root for LeBron, but I can't go against my Lakers. It was a rough time. It's been a rough time for me with my Laker fandom, bro.
Yeah, I hated LeBron. I hated him. I couldn't stand his guts. I just despised him because, and it's unfair. It was completely unfair because, you know, Bron came into the league 03.
Yep.
03, in my mind, Kobe's coming off 3 championships.
Man.
And they're already talking about this dude passing my guy. Y'all ain't even like, come on. Exactly. And so like that frustrated the hell out of me. And then Kobe, the Lakers went through that period where they weren't putting people around Kobe, and Kobe is playing out of his mind. And y'all don't think that maybe Brian Cook ain't it? Y'all aren't thinking like maybe Devin George need to get out of here for some picks. Like y'all like nothing. We had no movement because we're still selling out the building because we're still one of the most electrifying teams, you know, in the league. We're the Lakers. And at that time, Bron is on the rise.
Yeah. Bron
is unreal. And yeah, I was a hater, just extreme hater. And then 2016, Kobe retires. And, you know, Bron is in the finals every year. Now, during the season, I don't give a damn about no other team. Like, unless it's on fantasy, I don't care about no other team. I'm not watching y'all games. That's just how I am. But seeing Bron when it comes to the playoffs is different. Yeah. And so when I'm watching this guy every year, and I'm starting to be like, you know, this dude's pretty good. Like, okay. Like, wait a minute, hold on. And then it was 2017. 2017, the year when they had KD, and or was it 2018? But anyway, the year where LeBron has that famous meme looking at J.R. Smith. Not just those finals, but that entire playoff run, I was like, yo, this is some of the nastiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, you know, this guy is insane. And, you know, there was talks about him, you know, possibly going to the Lakers, but they did that before too when they left Miami. So I was like, you know, all right, if there's a chance, all right. But I told myself, and I went on Twitter too, and I tweeted it. I was like, yo, I can't hate on this dude anymore because I'll not appreciate it. I'm seeing him climb all these records, and these are records that I looked at on 2K. Like, all right, my created player is going to beat.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody else is going to do it, and this dude is doing it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm being a hater. I'm being a hater, bro. And when he went to Cleveland after Miami, I was like, all right, that was the right decision. Good for him. But I was still going for the Warriors. I always go for Western Conference in the finals. Like, no matter what, like, that's just always been my mindset. Probably because of my dad. But anyway, so when he chose the Lakers, I was like, well, that was a sign. Like, everything that I was feeling, I was like, all right, this looks well. And yeah, like, Kobe's still my guy. Kobe's still my number one. Kobe's my motivation. Kobe's my hero. You said Goku, but you meant Kobe. This is probably because they're the same guy. All right. And so, like, I will always cheer for the Lakers' success. I'm appreciative of LeBron James, and anybody who doesn't appreciate the fact that, like, this guy came and changed our franchise around, bro. I'm like, yo, fuck the lottery. I never want to be there again. I don't care about having the number 2 pick 3 years in a row. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want that. And so, like, if you're a Laker, you recognize that you are the most dominant franchise in the league. Oh, yeah. Like, just us, like, we have, with my own eyes, I've seen 6 NBA championships. That is more than 25 teams in the league have seen in their history.
Well, you know what? Also, the Lakers is one of the only teams that your measure is championship or bust. Like that's what with the Lakers, like what I'm saying, with my Bucks, we just won. It took us a while to get here. Yeah, and I love Giannis because he kind of, his mentality reminds me of Kobe, and Kobe, he worked with Kobe, Mamba mentality.
Yeah,
Kobe
touched him.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? So he gave him that stamp. But you know what I'm saying, we don't got the championship or bust. For the longest, it was like, all right, just get us in the playoffs. All right, just get us to the finals. All right, like, you know what I'm saying? Lakers got that. It's like, yo, if you don't get a championship, we fell this season. And that's crazy, but it's like y'all built that up because y'all have had so much success. You know what actually made me start turning the corner? I'm still not there with LeBron, but what made me start turning the corner is that I'm a logical hater with LeBron, right? There's certain things that I'll hate on, maybe a little bit things I'll stretch. Skip Bayless takes it way to the extreme. And hearing him, I'm like, all right, bro, you taking it too damn far here, bro. Like, and so now I'm like, I can't hate LeBron now because what you are doing is ridiculous, and I can't agree with you. And I'm actually defending LeBron a little bit more now because of that. And I'm like, man, like you want to hate LeBron, but you're doing a disservice because you're making more people like LeBron because you are the extreme hater of LeBron.
Yeah, and he know it. He know that that's what's going to get him clicks. That's what's going to get him comments. And that boy, I know he be tweeting and then mute the conversation. He don't see none of y'all talking to him. All of y'all that be like, you're an idiot and do it. He don't see none of that. He mutes it and keeps it going because he knows it'll get under y'all. There was something that I used to do on Twitter. It was like this running gag that I had. It's not even close. And I would just compare things and and it's not even close. And I would get so much hate from it. I was just like stupid shit. I'd be like, Pepsi's better than Coca-Cola and it's not even close. And then so like, just anything when people see something that they care about just get trashed, they got to defend it. And, LeBron taking on the golden armor and becoming a Laker, that's what should turn everyone. He's not winning them games for him. Like, bro, like, yeah, he is. But like, bro, we get a part of that. That champagne that was all over Disneyland, it's our champagne. That's ours. All right. And it feels so good to be back in the conversation. Oh, yeah. And I was like, yo, him coming to the Lakers, he gonna see it's different. And you'll see him post like, it's different playing for the Lakers. I've never seen somebody wear so much Laker gear and play for the Lakers. Like he'll be out there in some hot ass shit. And I gotta go in the NBA store to just look for it. because like, you know, he rocks the Lakers swag, and you know, he ain't never had a press conference because just him sending an email is a press conference. It's LeBron James. Laker fans who are still on the fence, like, you have to recognize we're spoiled. See this?
Yeah.
See that? That is a Laker. That is on every jersey, every sock, every ball, every camera has a Laker on it. Okay, we went from him and Wilt Chamberlain to Kareem, Magic, and Worthy to Shaq and Kobe, and now you have LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. Can you just shut up and enjoy yourself? God damn.
I feel you on that, man. You know what was funny is you're not even close. So you got me one time with the not even close.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it because you had said the Flash is the weakest superhero and it's not even close.
Not even
I said, wait, what?
Yeah, man, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Yeah, man, I was never a Flash fan.
You know what? I wasn't that big of a Flash fan until the actual series. I know a lot of people hate the Arrowverse, but I really like Grant Gustin as the Flash. Like, to me, he's my Barry Allen. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's certain gems that came from that show. I forgot the actor that actually played Deathstroke, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite villains. But that Deathstroke in the Flash, I think it was season 3 of the Flash. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but season 3 of the Flash on the Arrowverse, that Deathstroke, the best version of Deathstroke I've seen, because he pretty much goes against Flash and causes this, like, hey, you know what? This city is my city now, and I'm about to show y'all how to run it in this military style. And he's Deathstroke, and bro, it was an intense season. I think that was what solidified that like series for me. And I know right now it's getting a little bit ridiculous, but it's one of those shows now that I'm like, I'm so tapped in that I just got to see it through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
That's all it takes is to, you know, once you feel that connection, the same way that we feel the connection once we see an anime that grabs us. That's the beauty of storytelling. That is what you want as a performer, is to get your audience to do that. So, you know, all it takes is the right set of cooking to get somebody hooked. And, you know, my brother Daryl really put me on to, you know, just like superheroes and things like that. And he was a big fan of Flash. For a while, his producing tag was Barry Allen. Like, that was his thing. He, you know, we try to outdo each other with aliases. There's a little game me and my brother play. Like, one of my, I guess I can't really fucking say it, but whatever. I'll give y'all this one. One of my aliases that I be using in hotels is Corbin Dallas from The Fifth Element, just because, like, people know that name. Like, it's just one of those great classic names, and Barry Allen is right up there with it. But to go back to Deathstroke, what I really love about Deathstroke is the story between him and Deadpool.
yeah,
how they're the same, like they're the same guy. Like, that is like Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson. That, if that's not the funniest joke in the world, like,
what makes it even more funnier, I think we probably watched the same documentary I watched, when the creator of it, he was on his ass like, yo, no, we need somebody like this. We need somebody like this. So as a joke, and he was like, yes, exactly what I wanted. He was like, this was a series. I got tired of you riding me for this. So I thought that was hilarious and everything. But you know what? That also goes into, with your nostalgia post, you know, one, you showed one of my favorite cartoons of all time that a lot of people often forget, which is SWAT Cats, because I fucking love SWAT Cats. But that show, The Toys That Made Us, I love that show on Netflix. So have you ever watched that yet?
no.
Oh, you need to watch it if you ever get a chance. It's on Netflix. It's called The Toys That Made Us. Every episode is about a specific toy line, and they talk about the history of it. They show you some of the classic toys. So like the first few episodes, they did it on the Star Wars toys. They did it on G.I. Joe. They did it on the Ninja Turtle toys. They did it on the Power Ranger toys. And they start talking about, like, you learn so much history about some of these nostalgia toys and fandoms that we grew up on. They do He-Man as well. But it's like, this was the first time, like, what I learned, like the creator, Saban, the way that the way that Power Rangers got, like, why they was so popular, they just took the Japanese footage and then just did, and the only acting that they really had to do was, all right, well, let's just fill in this with you guys' regular scenes in the school. And I said,
Yeah.
that is amazing. I was like,
Yeah.
like that was crazy.
All they had to do was do this fucking Saved by the Bell ass school look. And yeah, they got it done. My sister is the one that put me onto that. She the way that she describes it was yeah, so they're doing that. They're just taking the Japanese footage and putting some, you know, American school scenes above it. And then all of a sudden they're like, hold on. Where the fuck did this green one come from? There's a green one now. So like you gotta just create around, and that gave us Tommy, who was like the greatest Power Ranger ever. Just by, you know, they don't even know what they're doing. And it's just like you to learn how things are made is it's something that you appreciate the older you get of like, damn, what had to go down to give me my piece of joy that I get from that entertainment.
So I got a line that I want to say to you. I want to see if you remember this.
Fuck.
Niggas keep bugging. I'm gonna have to start rating Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang, Cajun.
Yo, listen, I was spitting so hard on that. I was going hard on that. Yeah. Niggas start bugging. Niggas keep bugging. I'm gonna have to start rating Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang, getting these niggas Johnny Cajun. That means they act and don't get shit back. Yeah, that right there. That was when I was heavy. I was like, yo, I'm a rap. And what it was I was really into just how a lyricist can write something that I didn't think of. And that pissed me off. I pride myself on me being able to just sit and think and figure things out. But whenever I would hear a verse, and I'd be like, who thinks of that? Yeah. I wanted to give somebody that feeling. Yeah. And so, yeah, that was me rapping with my homeboy Blase. Shout out to Blase. He's a Trailblazers fan, so pray for him. But so it's yeah, that was I think I was 18, 19. Yeah. I'm 30. Fuck.
What's dope about that line is that I don't know if you're a fan of a battle rap or anything right now, but those are like, that's legit what they're doing right now. Like the Hitman Holla, Charlie Clips, Conceited, like all these top, you know what I'm saying, battle rappers. If you watch their battle raps, they're doing these schemes, right? So they would take that same way that you did that. It'd be like a 8-bar scheme on just Mortal Kombat characters and stuff like that. And so that's what when I seen that, that's what I initially went to. I was like, yo, these are battle bars. These are like, you know what I'm saying? Like if he was at the URL arena, you'll get the Don DeMarco like that shit would go wow right there. But and I love that. I love hearing comic book geek anime bars because, like I said, it's one of those ones that if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody Mortal Kombat, they don't know how hard that line is. But if you into Mortal Kombat, you're like, yo, that one.
Yeah, and that's the best part. That's the best part about geek nerd culture is like the references. It's like it's a tip of the hat to like y'all know what I'm talking about. And when you have when I did straight out of Compton, I had media training, and my teacher told me that relatability is likability. And when you can see that somebody else fucks with you on that level, y'all have an instant bond. Kind of the same way with sports. Like you go to a Laker game or whatever, you don't know these people, but they got Laker jerseys on. Y'all in there high-fiving, y'all damn near grew up together. And so those hit us in a certain way because there's so many of us who think that it's only us watching it. Yeah. That I'm the only one that's into this. I'm nobody else knows this show but me. For whatever reason, you get that tunnel vision. And so when somebody else has those same feelings that you had for whatever it is, it's an instant connection.
Yeah. So another thing that I saw, and I was like, man. So I remember when they was announcing about the next Sonic, and then you was like, yo, hey, your boy here, you know what I'm saying? And Idris end up getting Knuckles, and everything. However, when I started looking at it and thinking about it, your voice would actually fit Shadow better. Like if they introduce Shadow, you definitely will be a shoo-in for that voice, because you got to think. Remember when we first got introduced to Shadow in the Dreamcast? That's when we first started really hearing him talk in that Sonic, and start hearing how he sounds, and he has that. That low tone, but it's kind of like like that whispery, raspy tone, and like I can hear that from you, and I think that'll be dope if they continue to expand upon that and bring in Shadow. That's
Listen, we got to start using these blue check marks, baby. We got to start pumping that out there. I've been on James Gunn's head too. I see this Guardians of the Galaxy coming out. I'm like, all right, y'all got, me and you go back and forth on Twitter, man. Don't forget your boy. And like, that's really what you got to do. It's all about connecting and putting shit out there in the universe and your connections, who and yada yada yada. But I remember Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. That's like one of those like day one things that they pumped with that system. I was like, this is a great, and to this day, I don't know a Sonic game better than Sonic Adventure. And to this day, and Sonic Adventure 2 showing like when I first saw Shadow, I was like, oh, this motherfucker is hard. The black Sonic. Yeah. It was like, that's something that I would love to jump on. I've always been so heavy on wanting to be the guy who gets video game movies right. Not just as an actor, but I want to create them. I went to USC to be a screenwriter so I could write scripts for video games. Everybody else is in there for movies and television shows, but in my mind, I'm like, I need to figure out how to hone in on the writing, that writing feeling that I wanted with rap. Yeah. I realized that, through the right teachers, I realized that it was just a love for writing that I had. Yeah. And so I flipped that right before I really applied late to USC, but I ended up getting in there. My dad we had to talk to some leader of the board and all this stuff. And, I had to apologize for my tardiness and like all this type shit. And, they squoze us in for the last orientation. It was like the next day type shit. And I had to apply not only for USC, but you have to apply for the screenwriting division. Right. And so you have to get accepted twice. And like, yeah, you could get into USC, but if I don't get into the cinematic arts, then I'm just here, with my nuts in my hand, just trying to figure out what to do with life. Right. And so, I had got my love for storytelling from video games. It was Kingdom Hearts and like Final Fantasy and like all those shits where I was just so enthralled. I cared about characters so much. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I found an avenue through USC to hone in on that storytelling. And video game movies, like, they get the short end of the stick. Yep. They are cash grabs. And it's because they know we're going to go anyway. Yep. Like, and it is what it is. Like, Tomb Raider is the queen of video games. Lara Croft is the queen. And, the movies are fun. Like, shout out to Angelina Jolie, one of the GOATs. Shout out to Alicia Vikander, who I love with Ex Machina and all that. And, I just feel like those huge titles don't have to be popcorn movies. They could be films. They can be like award-winning films. And I feel that there is a disconnect with those higher ups who greenlight these films and actual gamers. And so that was always my goal. It still is my goal to kind of be the go-to to speak to gamers through film and to give us something instead of just watching a game that I've already played, tell a real story. And so that's always been my mindset. So to hear you say the Shadow thing, I'm about to pump that out my social media like crazy.
So here's, and this is where I hope that you do accomplish that, and that I'm a huge supporter of. Because if you think about superhero movies, right? Before Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau really got into like that, right? the movies were, a lot of them were good, but a lot of them had a lot of campiness. It wasn't taken serious. Even the Batman, I love Batman Forever and Batman Begins and Return. Like, I love those, but there was like a lot of camp. It wasn't really serious. It was just like, okay, we're going to do this. It was that cash grab. What we got with Feige and Jon Favreau with like what he's doing with Star Wars and everything is that we got somebody who they are true fans of that fandom, and that they know, like, you know what? I'm going to take this serious. I'm not going to just do it for the cash grab. I'm going to world build. I'm going to give the fans the true thing that they want, right? And that's what I always said. I said, we need to not get somebody who's like, oh, yeah, I remember Batman, or, I remember. No, we need somebody to be like, yo, this was my childhood. I know every ins and outs of it. I know the perfect story to tell about this. And so it's like knowing that, you have that connection with those. If they give you that opportunity to do so, I have no doubt in my mind that it'll be good, because it's like you have that connection to it. It's not just that. That's the reason why we got that bad Dragon Ball movie that we shall not talk about. The director even said it. He said, I didn't really know about it. They hired me. It was good money, so I did it. And so he's been apologizing ever since, because he said, I didn't take that serious. Because I'm like, if you look at what Marvel's doing, what Shang-Chi just did, I don't know if you've seen that, but what you were in Godzilla, there's no reason why we can't get a good Dragon Ball movie. Like, the technology is there, but it's like, you need somebody that's going to be like, I know Dragon Ball, and I'm not going to, like, this is an amazing story that can be told in the movies in a live action, but it's going to take somebody to take it serious. And that's it. That's what we need.
Yeah, there was the thing about Dragon Ball, like a live action that I always worried about was studios, worried about the hair. I was like, how are they gonna figure this out?
Yeah.
But it's all about the storytelling, of course. You have to figure out how to not, regurgitate something that we already know. A lot of the problem with video games is like I said, I'm rewatching in a compressed hour and a half something that I just spent 19 hours on at the house. Yeah. And it's not going to give you that same feeling that it did when you did it. Because it's you doing it. It's you doing the grind work. It's you leveling up. And it's just not, it's not going to hit the same if it's a story that, I've already known. So that's the battle. And with Dragon Ball, though, it was a film, Superman film, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
He's fighting Zod. And with them going through the city and, wrecking buildings during this fight, that was the time where I was like, you know what? Maybe they could get it right. Yeah. But it's going to be special effects driven. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's going to be CGI out the game. Right? But it has to be the right thing. And I feel like they got to let that breathe for a long time after that fuck up.
Well, and also the answer to what you said is because this was one of the reasons why The Last Airbender, my issue that I had with The Last Airbender was they crammed 3 seasons in one movie. And it's like, bro, no, the fandom is there. If you take a long road, like how they did with the Infinity War saga, like we're okay with long, like, listen, draw it out. Don't rush this story. Like I said, I always said that if they was to start with the Dragon Ball series, right, or the movies, I was like, obviously, most likely they're going to start with Dragon Ball Z, because that Saiyan saga probably was the biggest saga. But I was like, yeah, the climax of the Saiyan saga, if you start the movie, start with Goku up into Vegeta. You like don't try to jump to Frieza because Frieza's popular in one. Don't try to jump to Vegeta and Frieza in one movie, because that's way too much. Like, listen, you can give us a long steady movie. Matter of fact, you can even split the Saiyan saga into 2 movies. You can do the movie of Goku learning about the Z fighters, training his first fight with Raditz as the climax of the first movie, but then saying the Saiyans is coming. So now we waiting for movie number 2. Like, oh shit, it's the Saiyans. Like you can do that, but what studios often do is they're like, okay, we know that Vegeta's popular, Frieza's popular. All right, let's run through this Raditz thing real quick. Let's get Vegeta and then let's get Frieza in. It's like, no, don't do that. We don't want the fastness. We want a good story.
Yeah, just like the microwave in the oven. You can do it quick and I'll get it. But it's it's not gonna give me what I need. But the slow play is always the better one. But that's how you know. That's how you know it's just for the dollar. It's just for the quick buck. They see us as we ticket sales. These are people who are so embedded and so loyal that they are going to flood to see this.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't take in, just like with video games, it doesn't take in the time that you put into this show. It doesn't take in all the things that somebody who loves and cares about these characters. It's hard to have the character development that you see in a show compressed in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You're not going to get no type of giant arc. It's just not going to happen. And now with streaming and things like that, it is a whole new ball game with series just in general. And in some cases, the long play is the better play. If Infinity War and Endgame haven't shown them that yet,
right?
Come on. And it's really important that we start getting people connected to the rights to these franchises and things like that actually are one of us. You have to have a different type of appreciation to hit the mark. It has to be a passion project, not one just for the chips.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so 2 segments before we end this and get it out there. So one of the segments that we do is top 5s, right? So you already kind of talked about your top 5 animes, or like the animes that got you into it and everything like that. So I do want to get top 5 anime characters. Obviously, we know Goku's in there, but characters for you, and it doesn't have to be in order unless you want to put it in order.
Now, is it just like my favorite, or is we going most powerful? It's just like my
your favorite
favorites. All right. Number 1 is Goku for sure, hands down. I don't know why anybody thought it was going to be otherwise. Number two is probably, I'll probably have to give it to Kakashi because Naruto is my second favorite anime. So of course that's going to be in the 2 spot. Number 3, I'm a real big fan of, we don't get to really see the real All Might, but I'm just so entertained by my hero, and All Might is just like he's if Guy, Sensei, and Superman mixed together, it'd be fucking All Might, and that's just jokes to me. I love that. My 4th is probably Koro Sensei. I don't know if anybody's seen Assassination Classroom, but oh man, I'm gonna get emotional, man. Koro Sensei. Oh, Koro Sensei. Number 5. Oh, this gotta be right. It's a pressure now. Shit. God, because in the back of my mind, I was like Vegeta, but I was like, is there somebody else dope that I could be like, nah, because I already gave Dragon Ball some love. I gotta go with the Saiyan Prince, right? Saiyan Prince, god damn it.
Solid.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Saiyan Prince Vegeta, bro.
So kind of the same thing that you said about Tanjiro and Deku. I was like, how do you not hear Deku?
Yeah.
That's how Kora Sensei, I'm like, fam, all I hear is Krillin. The English.
Bro, when I hear all I think is Piccolo. Like Piccolo and Vegeta. Right. I got Chris Sabat on the list twice.
Yeah. Hey, but he's dope. He's one of my favorite in regards there. But yeah, no, that's Assassination Classroom. Crazy. Okay.
It was so unexpected for me.
That premise was just so good. When I was explaining it to my guy, and I was like, yeah, so Assassination Classroom, just check it out. I said, it's this being, he destroys the moon, and then he comes down to Earth and says, hey, what I did to the moon, I'm gonna do that to Earth, but you guys got a year. But here's this class of kids, train them to kill me. And if they can kill me before. He was like, so he's training his murder? I'm like, pretty much, yeah, that's what it is. he's such a good teacher though. Like it's crazy how good of a teacher he is. Like he's really good. Second part to that top 5 question, and this is more not a top 5, but just a quick one. If you could be in any anime world, which anime world would you want to be in?
I mean, my natural thought is, but like I would have, fuck, because Dragon Ball Z, that's a lot of pressure. All right, if I'm not a Saiyan, I'm pretty much fucked.
Right.
And I don't know if we established in this podcast if Saiyans are black people yet, but I need to figure something out, you know. But if you're not a Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z, you're kind of done for. If I ain't got the Sharingan and Naruto, I'm kind of done for. If I could be, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be Goku. You know, ever since I was a kid. So like, you know, you catch me out in West City, probably living in some Capsule Corp mansion. Yeah. Either that or I'm from Pallet Town, you know, got my Pokemon Master life up. That was another one that took over my life for a while. And I don't really get a lot of credit.
Does it? So good.
It doesn't get a lot of credit, Pokemon, and like everybody know damn well. Everybody, you know, especially around our age, know damn well that y'all was almost late for school because you was up trying to watch Pokemon before it was time to go. Everybody know they had that game. Everybody know they had the cards. They did recently the Mount Rushmore of anime, and they were like, who should get this 4th spot? Because, you know, they had the obvious big 3. But, like, if y'all don't stop disrespecting Pikachu, that motherfucker is like, he is damn near the Japanese Mickey Mouse. Like, he is, like, everywhere, bro. So shout out to Pokemon, man. That's from the bottom of my heart. I got my red version in the room right now.
Listen here. One of the greatest things as a parent is when Pokemon Go came out and my kids got into it. I was like, so we got to connect on that. Me and my kids was all, I'm talking about we running around downtown, running in parks, trying to catch Pokemon. I was excited, just excited with them because I'm like, yo, this is amazing. I'm like, I love Pokemon. Now we get to actually catch Pokemon. It was really dope. It was really dope. Top 5 comments.
Hold on, wait. I got a controversial take because I've seen Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
This is a weird alternate version of Naruto.
It is. Okay. We said that on our podcast. We saw this podcast. We also do a bi-weekly podcast outside of this interview series. And we talked about that. We talked about that as like definitely like it is just like an alternate version of Naruto and everything. So it's that,
because I saw Jujutsu before I saw Naruto. And the reason why I got into Naruto is because, like, you know, you on IG, you on Twitter, TikTok, or whatever the fuck, and you see constant Naruto references everywhere. And I was feeling left out. I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know what everybody's laughing about. So, you know, let me get into this. And I'm like, this is exactly the same. Like, even like homie with the fake Kakashi and like
Gojo is Kakashi.
Yeah, like this dude got a demon that he talks to that he can't really let out, but like is talking shit in his ear, and the whole 2 guys, 1 girl dynamic, and like this is Naruto. This is Naruto with like super HD.
You know what's funny? So in the same vein of things, I don't know if you ever got into Black Clover, but I love Black Clover. And Black Clover is literally it's like 5 animes in one. It's Naruto, it's My Hero, it's Hunter x Hunter. It's all these ones, and I was like, usually I would be annoyed by that. But I love Black Clover, like the Black Bulls, like that. That's one of my favorite animes as well, too. All right, so another top 5 consoles. So I know that you're a gamer. Top 5 consoles.
All right, so the greatest console of all time is the Sony PlayStation 2. There's everybody and their mom had it. Some people had it in their vehicles.
Yes, they did.
That is a god ear console right there. Next, people might have something to say about this, but I'm gonna just be real on my side. The Xbox 360 is next for me. And it's because the Xbox 360, I remember when that came out, and I think that was the last NBA Live that I bought with Dwayne Wade on the cover. I think that was 06. And I remember thinking, this is the realest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. And PlayStation, I'm a PlayStation guy. I got a PlayStation chain people have seen me in. But like, y'all dropped the ball with that PlayStation 3. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what happened, but I was just not a fan. Xbox 360 got me into online gaming. Heavy with the Halo always. Shout out to my boy Pablo Schreiber, who played a Dinner of Thieves with me. He's actually going to be playing Master Chief. After that, probably the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
The Nintendo 64 gave me my first person shooter with GoldenEye and Turok.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm gonna go Dreamcast, because Dreamcast brought me 2K, got me the greatest Sonic game there was with Sonic Adventure. Dreamcast also, obviously Crazy Taxi. I don't know if Jet Set Radio, I think that was the name of it. It was like this inline skating thing with the graffiti and shit. What else? And then at the 5 spot, I know motherfuckers who play Nintendo are like, what's wrong with this kid?
He said 4.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm about to go Sega again, because my first game I ever played was Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Like Sega Genesis, and I'm sorry for the handheld people, but like, put that shit on the TV, bro. But yeah. So I'll definitely give that. The last 2 spots go to Sega. The Sega Genesis, that introduced me to my first love, which is video games. And so, yeah, I'll take that.
What got me on Genesis the Genesis, like, okay, because I had a Super Nintendo, but my guy had a Genesis, and I would go over his crib, and then like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we got the blood. I'm like, I got to do the code. But Streets of Rage.
When
I first saw Streets of Rage, I said, this is even the intro. That intro, like, I was just like, what is this?
Like, I don't know if they still make side-scrolling beat 'em ups, but like that right there, that's a great game, dude. That and my brother had this game. Used to scare the shit out of me because I'm a little kid. Altered Beast, I think that's what it's called. You pretty much, you're these two these buff ass guys, and you're turning into creatures every new level, and like it's a side scroll beat 'em up just like that. And me and him used to go ham on that. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video game, me and him used to go ham on that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was a key part of my life, is that Sega Genesis.
Even the movie video games, because I also remember Terminator 2 video game on there, because there was a scene where you're in the back of the truck and T-1000 is running after you, and you got to be shooting in the back of the truck. Like, oh, love that game so much, man. All right, so the last segment that we have is called recommendations, something that either you're watching, playing, reading, or something that you think that our listeners and viewers should check out.
Oh, damn. Okay. Right now, they got me into Demon Slayer. They got me into it. Demon Slayer is just dope. Yeah. There's no way around it. Another a show that I had no idea about. It's a real like heartwarming ass show. I watch it with my daughter. It's called Kipo and the Wonder Beasts on Netflix. It's by DreamWorks. It's it's a nice little show. It's got some nice messages in it. It's got beats for sure. I don't know who was behind that, but when you watch it, it's a real black ass show. When you watch it, you'll see. But yeah, Kipo and the Wonder Beast. That's a nice show. You're not about to be wowed. It's not about to be on the same tier as Dragon Ball and all that shit. But like, it's a good show. Every time I watch it with her, I can't help but be like, this is I'm entertained. There's no way around it. So yeah, I would say Kipo. Check out Kipo, especially if you got kids or you just want to watch a show that'll pull your heartstrings a little bit and entertain you at the same time.
Dope. I know that you recently asked like what once you finish Naruto, like what was some other animes to get into. I know that you said that you watched a couple of episodes of Hunter x Hunter, and then Demon Slayer is one of those. One Piece, I don't know if you ever got into that one yet. That's a dope one too, but that is one of the longest animes. But this is why I wanted to recommend it to you. The Z Fighters is forever my favorite group, and then for the longest, Team 7, it was my second favorite group. The Straw Hat Pirates, hands down, is my second favorite group out of One Piece. Like Luffy and that gang of characters, Chris Sabat is he's in it again. You know what I'm saying? He plays a pivotal character in it, and then
getting bucks.
Actor Krillin is in it again. He plays a pivotal character in that as well. But it's a long anime, but like they got so many arcs that are just so dope, and their character growth is there. So like once you finish Demon Slayer, if you're looking into it, I am highly recommending One Piece. It gets a lot of hate because people talk about like, oh man, it's so long, it's still going and everything like that. But my thing is this: I say if you watch all of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super, if you watch Naruto Shippuden, and watch Boruto, or if you watch all of Bleach, it's the same amount of episodes. So it's like you can't just talk. Just the difference between One Piece is they never changed the name. It's just One Piece all the way through. They didn't have G or whatever. So it's just all the way through. But it's like it's still the same. But it's such a dope ride. One Piece would be my highly recommendation in regards to there, man. Where can my people find you at, man?
Man, I keep it simple for everybody looking for me. My Twitter is at O'Shea Jackson Jr. My Instagram is at O'Shea Jackson Jr. And you can hit both of those if you're trying to get at O'Shea Jackson Jr. That is just, I keep it simple. My name's unique as hell. I might as well use it anyway. I'm over in Ireland and everybody's like, O'Shea, do you have any Irish in you? I said, nigga, do I look like I got some But it's all love. Hit me up. Holla at me when you see me. Lakers in 5.
All right, man. Well, again, man, thank you for being here, man. This has been 1-on-1 with Deuces. This has been the amazing O'Shea Jackson. This is the only place that blend hip hop culture and geek culture, and we are out. Peace.